Toronto is not a real place. You might be thinking, why am I saying a city is not real? Well, let me show you this clip.
That's why the dogs hang out with the dogs. Scratching your fleas. You like hanging out with the wicked. No way, the bastard
To break down the video, I'm at Dundas Square, which is basically just a rip-off Times Square in New York that smells just as bad. There's a random guy preaching about Christianity with a microphone and a speaker. Some random girl starts hitting a guy and swears at him. Then there's this man. All this snow and he's out here trying to shovel it all away. Like, what is he thinking? When you think of Toronto, where does your mind go to? You know, the CN Tower, Drake, Maple Leafs, Blue Jays, Raptors, Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, The Cold, or if you're American, what is that place?
Yeah. I pull up in Lexus like it's 07, I just hit a lick, I gotta hit the next one.
In my short time in living in Toronto, I can confidently say that the city is not real. In Toronto, you will find a mix of creatures such as rats, raccoons, and crackheads. If you take a walk down the street, you're bound to see one of them. When I moved in, all of these creatures freaked me out. I'm not no city kid, I don't know how to deal with a crackhead. Yet 6 months later, and this is the norm. Not just for me, but for everyone who lives in the city. Crackheads are your friends. Rats just want a bite of your food, and the TTC, well, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, when you live in Toronto, there's 3 different types of people. There's the ones who are born and raised, the real people outside of main downtown Toronto, and then there are the ones that say that they're from Toronto, but they're from Durham or somewhere outside the GTA. If they pronounce a T, they ain't from here for real. Toronto is one of the most diverse cities in the world in terms of culture. You can be Italian and somehow like Caribbean and Chinese food. For example, it was a random Tuesday and I was done filming in a record store called Sonic Boom in Chinatown. There's a random pig hanging from a fishing pole.
It's not a real place.
Someone power washing the stairs. A person playing a trumpet of all instruments. And yeah! Then when we finished our group project, me and my best friend did our laser cutting assignment, and we were just chilling. And randomly, I found myself on a walk with 2 more friends on our way to a hot pot place. I've never been to a hot pot place before, so I didn't know what to expect. And let me say, it did not live up to my expectations. The food was alright. I mean, it was different. I had squid for the first time. And the service, it was good. It was mainly just this robot just kept going around giving us more food. Pinocchio. But when I got that bill for all you can eat, I was in shock. Damn, why is everything in Toronto so expensive? Like, I asked ChatGPT why Toronto is a real place, and it showed me the annual No Pants subway ride where participants ride without pants. I've lived in Toronto my whole entire life and I've never heard of this. What I have heard of is the Naked Bike Marathon, where people ride bikes naked across the Gardiner. If you ever see a rent-a-bike station downtown, just know not to use it, because someone was probably riding naked on it. Now, can we talk about the amount of NPCs in the city? It's wild to me. For reference, if you don't know what an NPC is, it's a video game-like term referring to a non-playable character, meaning that they're just in the background and don't really have any meaning.
They're getting dirty right now. I'd do it. I'd do it.
They are everywhere and they don't go away. They just keep spawning. Like, where are you coming from? Especially in very sociable places like the malls or tourist attractions. I'll just be walking downtown and I'll be thinking like, everyone here has their own story and own life that needs to be written. Or are they just someone who needs to fill in the plot of your own story? Anyways, back to the TTC. Toronto's Transit Commission. Oh, the stories I could say about this. It's still better than staying in traffic for an hour and a bit, for a drive that should take like 20 minutes. Let me just say, the TTC alone by itself is weird. With it being slow all the time, always delayed, catching on fire, the track's not working, whatever the case may be, it just doesn't seem real, yet realistic at the same time. The experience on the TTC is the weirdest part of it all, where you meet all types of people.
Goddamn thing to help.
You're a sick woman. You're a sick woman.
You're a goddamn fucking asshole. I hope that
You're a sick woman.
you think that your
need
magic words
Which
are
bumper
going to
clock dog guy?
solve
God,
the
this man
world's
will wake up good enough.
Your local crackhead that is just randomly shouting whatever is on his mind.
I don't want to get nobody in there. I don't have to do anything.
Penny the Hedgehog, who is conveniently placed beside the rail tracks, a pigeon infestation. I'm constantly checking my bag to make sure I don't get stabbed, robbed, shoved, jumped, followed, or all of the above. The TTC can be a video on itself, how people don't pay, the experience. I mean, just look at SixBuzz and Wave Room, or any Toronto social media news outlet, and they show the real Toronto. With a trend I've been seeing on my social media lately, specifically TikTok, is people romanticizing places, and Toronto is one of them. Don't get me wrong, Toronto is a very nice place, and at times it can be the place to be when events are happening like Carabana, Drake, the World Cup soon, playoffs. Go Habs go. But back on topic, let me just say right now, with the coldness and snow, not the light snow that looks aesthetically pleasing, I'm talking about the downpour of snow. Slush everywhere, looks groggy every day, fires in buildings, waking up to fighter jets and helicopters outside your window. About to land? I just want it to be spring already. That's my favorite season. I'm not saying Toronto can't be romanticized, but only on certain occasions. The city is not perfect, but I like it here. Toronto is a weird place, and I'm glad to be living here. With all the experiences I've had, it's definitely been memorable so far. When you tell someone that you live in Toronto, and they say, "What's that?" Just tell them, IDK bro. This place isn't real.
No, we're trying to get to our class. I'm not walking down there. Why is the thing cracked? Oh no. Nope. I'm not going down. Yeah, we're lost.
Anxiety.
No clue.
I don't think he's gonna do. anyways, let's go. Oh.
Come the back, like the back. Not the grey, not the warm, not the calm, not the back. Listen to bomb book like coloring book them.
My name.
Guys, ready? Pick this up.
Shout out to my lawyer, Jordan Douglas. He gon' get me locked up for real.
You don't really love Jago, listen to Drake, bitch.